we will be doing SQL injection using an intentional vulnerable website, DVWA, damn vulnerable web application. So it will be in two phases. The first phase will be without Burp Suite. Then the next phase will be with Burp Suite. So by doing it without Burp Suite, we are learning SQL logic, injection thinking, database structure, then attacker mindset. So we are going to take us from noob to the ninja mode. So let's spin up our vulnerable website using Docker Compose, imaged.
You got my attention, all of my attention, yes. Type like lemon, chill, perked up in Brazil. Yeah, you got me burning up in here. 2 black 5 in here, stressing to kill him here. I ain't sweating, you swimming here. The essence is missing here, so I'm ready to disappear. Let's just go, my dear, cause the way you put it on.
So let's get our web vulnerable web app running. Now it's running. So before we go into the hands-on lab, let's set let's reset our database. Then DV security, we will put it to low. Okay, it's already on low. So let's go to SQL injection. So SQL injection is the type of web app vulnerability where the attacker injects malicious SQL code into the SQL query into the website, thereby tricking the website to do things abnormal. So we've seen how the effect of SQL if found in a website. So let's let's get into the hands-on lab proper. So we will try something here. This is the ID, the first name. So, but let's check if this website is vulnerable to SQL injection. So we try with a single quote. Let's try with a single quote. So it says you have error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MariaDB server version for the right syntax to use near so at line 1. So with this information, we know that this website is vulnerable to website. So the first thing we use now so our first task now is let's bypass authentication. Yeah, boring base. Let's bypass authentication. So since if we put ID to 2, it will release the ID, the name for the ID to, even if you put it to 3. So but let's now inject a malicious payload that will list all the users. So you do one so with this particular payload, we are able to list all the users: the Gordon, the Hack user, the Pablo user, and the Bob user. So why this thing works is because where the ID is 1 and this a particular syntax now, then anything that is 1 equals to 1 is always 2, so it will comment out this particular one. So by so doing, it will list all the users. So now let's find the number of columns using order by. So let's do so it we've used the order by to find the number of columns in this database. So we have the first one went, the second one went, but in the third attempt it breaks, showing us that there are only 2 columns present. So since there are only 2 columns present, let's now inject basic let's start the union injection for data extraction. So we use union select to so the first column, the first one is admin, first name 1, son name 2. Let's check for the database info. Let's extract database information using the union select. So with this payload, we found out that the database version is version 10.1.26 MariaDB. So let's enumerate. Let's also check for the database before we move on to the next payload to use. Select. Okay, the database name is DVWA. DVWA. So let's now enumerate the tables inside the DVWA. So we use the payload union select table name /2. This 2 we put here signifies that it's only 2 columns. Schema. So we found the 2 tables in the database. the guest book is the first table, then the users table is the second table. So as an attacker, will put measure of his interest in the users table, because there you might get access to the usernames, user credential like password, ID numbers, and many others. So you will now inject the payload to dump the users table, everything that is inside this users table, using this particular payload. So you use select user. This should be small. Password. From users. Wow, so we found this juicy informations here. The first name, admin, and here is the password. The second name, Gordon B, and here is the password. The third name, 1337, and here is the password, as well as other Pablo and Smith. So we've now find the names of the users, but the password are hashed. The password are hashed, and I think this is MD5 hash. So we will now use a particular tool, a browser tool, to decrypt those hashes, because MD5 hashes is a weak hashing method. So this also tells us why we should make use of a stronger hashing method and a stronger password. So let's now decrypt these hashes here to check if we will be able to find the hashes, the original password of all these hashes in plain text. So you go to a particular website, hashes.com. I think you have something, hashes.com. Yeah, so this particular let me call it a browser tool, a website, allows us to decrypt MD5, SHA1, MySQL, and so many other hashes, both email and so many other hashes. So now we will enter our, let's check this one. Copy, we will enter it here, then do the captcha check here. So here is the password of this one. It's just a numerical password, 7061 737 blah blah blah. Let's check for another one. Let's check another one. Let's check this one. Wow, so we also find the password for this hash, and the password is ABC123. So here comes to our end of SQL, manual SQL injection without Burp Suite. So the next phase we are going to do now is with Burp Suite. So thank you for staying with us as we this we pose to bringing you the best cybersecurity habits, insight, tips, and best ethical hacking concept, as far as you stick with us. So thank you as we join us to the next phase of SQL injection, this time around using Burp Suite. Thank you.